digloid.com. All right, in this video, I'm going to show you why, at least one reason why Sony camera profiles in Adobe Camera Raw suck. I've previously shown how Fujifilm camera profiles are excellent. I use them a lot, and I did in a video, various videos, both on Adobe Camera Raw as well as one specific Fujifilm, I think. And I also discussed white balance and tint as well in a separate video. So check those out maybe before you watch this one. But here we are in Adobe Camera Raw. I've opened up a Sony a7R5 image, and it's all adjusted the way I'm going to do it. You'll notice that the camera profile is set to Adobe Color. That's Adobe's own profile. And I've done all the white balance and business there. Now, here's the thing. You think, well, you know, maybe Sony has camera profiles that, like the Fujifilm ones, can do something nice for you. So what if we choose Camera ST? ST is standard, I guess. You notice, I'll flip back, that's the Adobe Color. This is Camera ST. Well, one thing I noticed right away is that wood has gone kind of magenta. That's the wrong color. I can just tell by looking at it. And that's not the only problem, though, is that these clouds, you know, I'm going to mouse over this, and then up in this area, as I mouse over, observe the numbers. And the numbers we're interested in are the red and green numbers, R and G. You notice that there's more G, green, than red. And that's a problem. It means we've got greenish clouds. And that's, maybe you can't see it in the video, maybe your vision's not as good as mine, but that really bugs me. And generally speaking, I like neutral clouds, no magenta or green tint. You know, a little bit of blue is fine because they look normal, but green clouds are not good. So how do you fix green clouds? Well, all right, this all came about because I used Camera ST. If I go back to Adobe Color and I mouse over, you'll see I'm getting pretty much the same number for both figures, no matter where I mouse, depending on, it might be 1 point off or something, but if I mouse over, basically the R and G components are identical in Adobe Color. But as soon as I change to Camera ST, if I mouse over here, we can see that it's 4 to 5 points to green. It's only 3 points to green there, it's 3 points to green, it's 4 points to green there. So we've got green clouds. That is kind of ugly. And I previously determined the only way I can neutralize those clouds is to change the tint to 30 instead of 16. I'm going to toggle before, after. It's hideous. It took something that looks, you know, sort of reasonable. When I went to that 30 magenta for the tint, you can see the foreground, everything definitely on magenta. Guess what, though? Our clouds are now neutral, to, you know, within 1 point again. Anywhere I go, I've got the same values for R and G. So I've fixed the tint problem on the clouds, but the entire foreground and all the other stuff has this nasty magenta cast. And that's before, after, before, and then after. So I can have neutral clouds, or I can have horrible color on the rest of it. And I don't seem to be able to find any way to fix this. I mean, I suppose some elaborate thing. So basically what you're left with is these profiles suck. They really suck. So if you compare that to, I'll go back to Adobe Color, and my clouds are neutral, and I don't have that ugly magenta look to things on the rest of the scene. So I don't know what's wrong with these camera profiles for Sony. You know, if you go in here, these are down under camera matching, and you know, ST is standard, PT I think is portrait, VV is vivid, more vivid. I mean, there's whatever. They just, all these suck. You can see it just, most of them just suck in general, but PT and ST, the color just isn't right. So I'd say with Sony, stick with Adobe Color, which effectively means you don't have any profiles that are good for Sony, except for these Adobe ones: color, landscape, portrait, standard. You know, for example, if I go to Adobe landscape, suppose you want more pop, and I mouse over these clouds, they're still neutral. You know, within one point here, we're same thing as before. They're still neutral, no problem. But it's that Sony profiles. You can see 3 points off, 3 points off, 3 points off. Doesn't matter which Sony profile I pick here, they're off. So as far as I'm concerned, the Sony camera profiles are junk. Don't use them. Stick to Adobe Color. Maybe use Adobe Landscape or Adobe Portrait. These portraits are the way to go. All right, so that's that.